Texas National Guard can now make arrests in the illegal immigration crackdown with the Trump administration. Plus, I want to share my conversation with a Texas DPS agent who was down at the border. Let's check it out.
The Texas National Guard will now be participating in the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. Governor Greg Abbott announced the move on social media. His post on X saying, "In an agreement I signed between Texas and Trump's Customs and Border Protection, the Texas National Guard is granted the power of immigration officials to make immigration arrests, effective immediately. This boosts manpower for border security." Abbott previously launched Operation Lone Star in 2021 to increase enforcement along the Texas border with Mexico. It was a joint operation between the Texas National Guard and the Texas Department of Public Safety. Thousands of National Guard soldiers then took part in the push. According to Newsweek, the state spent more than $13 billion to fund it. This new agreement would grant soldiers the authority to conduct roving patrols and fulfill the duties of an immigration agent, provided they are accompanied by a federal immigration officer or border patrol agent. The new authorization adds about 3,000 Texas Army National Guard soldiers to the ranks of those now assisting the federal government in immigration enforcement.
Okay, so this is kind of like what happened with the bill that Governor Abbott signed back in the legislative session of 2023, SB4, when he when he was going to allow law enforcement here in Texas to arrest and deport illegal aliens who entered the state illegally, who entered the state. Now, that's been tied up in court with a lot of legal things, but this is an agreement with the Trump administration and Texas. This is unheard of because this is a huge difference from what Biden was doing when he was pushing back against Texas and defending its own borders. So this is huge.
Back in January, Governor Abbott signed 5 executive orders directing state agencies to assist the Trump administration in deportation efforts. State agencies are mandated in assisting federal officers carrying out their duties. State agencies are required to help build barriers along the border with Mexico, share intelligence on organizations such as Mexican drug cartels, and identify detention facilities to house migrants believed to be in the country illegally. For more unbiased updates, download the Straight Arrow.
That's big news right there. We have the federal government partnering with the state of Texas, allowing us to assist. This is great. So Attorney General Ken Paxton weighed in on this. He said, "Day one, President Trump took bold action to make America safe again. I'm proud to be the first to join him to restore national sovereignty, secure our border, and ensure that illegal aliens face the justice they deserve. As a top law enforcement official in Texas, I call on all agencies and departments to join me in the fight. We will enforce the law and protect America." You love to see things like this. There is no reason why the federal government should have been pushing back on Texas defending its own borders. For one, it's their job to do it. It's the federal government's job to do this. But now we have an administration who actually cares about solving this problem and partnering with the states to get things done. But I had a conversation with a Texas DPS agent this past Sunday. He was sent down to the border for Operation Lone Star. He was assigned there for 1 week, and he caught 56 illegal immigrants by himself in 7 days. He made a bunch of busts. He said it was him and 4 other guys assigned to a certain section, and he said there were groups. They all had to choose which ones to take. So one guy would take one guy would take another group of like 18 to 20, and they would go on chases. He said he tracked one guy crossing the border for 5 hours. He tracked his shoes. He tracked his footprints for 5 hours and was able to catch him. He says, so basically when you set up a perimeter where they think they're gone, 90% of the time you're going to catch them. When you go in a circle and you in a radius of where you think they are, 9 times out of 10 you're going to catch them. They would go inside the brush. They would hide. So you would hear them. You would hear the brush moving. They would try to get away. He said he also caught one vehicle with, I think, 8 to 10 illegal immigrants, and they took off running. He was in a chase, a foot pursuit. One of them had half of his ear was basically ripped off, and he arrested him. He arrested all the others. He said the news did it no justice. What you see on the TV is not even close to what it was like. He said it was absolutely insane down there at the border. So I like hearing anecdotal evidence. I like hearing things from people who are actually doing the job and not just. I mean, it's we can only get so much information from the news, but when you talk to somebody, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's this topic here or anything else. It's always good to talk to somebody who's actually been through and actually seen things, firsthand accounts of somebody's experience. But he said his one of his chases were on Fox News, so I thought that was pretty cool because those are open records. The Texas DPS has open records, and Fox News basically just went in there and pulled the feed and put it on Fox News. And he found out that one of his coworkers, one of his colleagues, that he was on the news. That his chase made national TV. So I thought that was pretty cool. But he said he caught a smuggler. He caught people being smuggled in, and of course, we started in Texas. We started, excuse me, we started to um, arrest people for trespassing. That's how we were able to detain some people coming across the border. But he said they was only allowed to target men. He thought that was kind of weird that he was only allowed to target men and arrest them and detain and take them to jail. Women and children, he couldn't do that to. So he thought that it was kind of odd that he had to. You basically just he actually choose. He had to only target one certain type of person, and it was only males. I mean, if you're a woman, you're crossing illegal. You should be arrested too for trespassing, per state, per orders from Governor Greg Abbott. But he thought that was kind of odd during his experience down there, and he said that it was absolutely nuts. There were hundreds of people crossing the border. So the damage was real. The damage that Joe Biden was doing to this country was real. When you have people I mean, the borders were wide open. Basically, the borders were just the floodgates were open. People were able to just come across and run across, and Texas DPS could only arrest so many people. And I wonder how many of the people got away. I mean, and Texas National Guard, they were just able to kind of act as a deterrent. While they're down there, they couldn't arrest people before, so they were there as a deterrent. Building barriers, putting up shipping containers, wiring, fencing, things like that, which is helpful. But they couldn't make any arrests, and a lot of times they were just helping Border Patrol process people. I mean, it's crazy what was going on. But I'm glad we have a president here who's going to get things done, who's going to solve this problem. And it's refreshing to see that we're seeing the results this fast. 93% drop in illegal crossings since Trump has been in office is fantastic. But yeah, I want to leave that right there. Just wanted to share that with you. That story that from the Texas DPS agent, his experience, and what we're doing here in Texas in partnership with the federal government. All right, guys, like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.